Tonight, a big show this evening, and it all starts with the pioneer, the amazing Andrew Lessman, who over 40 years ago, he set the standard, heavens no, he created the standard for the world's finest supplements and vitamins. A couple great today's specials to share with you. We're going to start out with Ultimate Eye Support. We were talking about how much we really put our eyes through in bright, harsh daylight, on our screens, on our phones, on our tablets. And Andrew, as you said last night, as the saying goes, our eyes are the windows to the soul, and we've got to look after them. We've got to invest in them.
Yes, and I just thought we had a special guest tonight.
Oh!
Truman, come here.
I love this. Over here? He's grown, Andrew.
This is Truman. He went from 6 pounds to probably 35 pounds. Can I have a high five? Thank you.
Oh my gosh, he's adorable. Oh my gosh, he's
so
amazing.
That's Shaggy Truman. So say hi, Truman. Okay,
hi, Truman.
So, but yes, as you were saying, we often hear that the eyes are the windows to the soul. And what I was saying about that the other night was that when we look in our eyes, that's when we can look at our retina. And when we look at our retina, we look at the concentration of optical pigment. If you want to know what optical pigment is, the graphic you see to the left, when it talks about lutein or zeaxanthin, actually that graphic only talks about astaxanthin, but normally the graphic talks about lutein and zeaxanthin. Those are the optical pigments. They are only available if we consume them in our diet. They are only available if we get them in a dietary supplement. That's the only two sources. They can't come from thin air. Our body cannot make them. So we need to get them either from things, unfortunately, we don't get in the typical American diet. Typical American diet gives a little over a gram of lutein and zeaxanthin every day. My supplement daily gives you 18 milligrams. The recommendations are that you get between 6 and 14 milligrams every day. So with Ultimate Eye, you're getting that perfect level, those perfect levels of lutein and zeaxanthin and mesozeaxanthin. And mesozeaxanthin is just as important as zeaxanthin. All three are critical. The research talks that each one on their own delivers the benefits you seek, but you really need to have all three to optimize your benefits. As Truman's wandering around the office here. Come here, Truman.
I saw his wagging tail.
Can you come up? Yep. No, he's got a big fluffy tail.
Oh my
and so as you can see, he has one blue eye, one brown eye. Are you gonna, Truman, what's over there? You're gonna, oh, you have your toy. Every little bow.
Perfect.
So that's Trumi. Right now he's about 10 months old. So he went from being 6 pounds to now he's more than 30 pounds, and he's quite the smart little dude. He's part Australian Shepherd and part poodle. So he doesn't shed, because I'm a little allergic to dogs and absolutely not allergic to this little guy. So just everybody's been requesting to see him. He didn't make it for the last several shows. So he's here. I'm sure everybody was more excited to see him than to see me. But
we know it's true.
That's that's what it's W.C. Fields who had said. He said a few things. I think one of the things he said: never work with animals or children. Here I am working, and then I think on it. Well, I won't say. I think it might be urban lore what he had written on his tombstone, but I'll leave that for people to do some research on the internet.
Oh, I need to look what that is now. Oh my gosh. Well, one thing that we know is written and is proven and is shown to be the case is that we have to look at what we're doing for our body, for our eyes. And we know from thousands of reviews over so many years what people talk about: sharpness, dryness, fatigue, adjustment. They talk about really feeling and seeing that difference. I want to go over the pricing because it is our today's special. Only one time a year that, you know, you get the opportunity to save the most amount of money, and we're proud to be able to offer this. So there's $41.80, $360, or $720. That is the regular price, always competitive. Today, the pricing is the lowest it has ever been. For example, you can get 720 capsules for the same price that you'd normally spend on $360. That's $159.90. So mega savings. The other option is if you want to go with Ultimate Eye Support Plus astaxanthin, which of course gives you extra benefits, not just eyes, brain, heart, immune system, and so much more. Andrew, when you start doing the math there, I mean, look at the 720 capsules down from $459. That's a huge saving and not really that much extra at all.
And what someone pointed out to me earlier today, typically when you buy vitamins, they come in a 30 count, a 60 count, a 90 count. If you look at either of those large sizes, and you did the math on what you were paying for a 30 count, what you were paying on either one of those, either the version with or without astaxanthin, obviously the version with astaxanthin today, to get 720 capsules of astaxanthin for $40 more is pretty amazing. What is that? That comes to pennies per capsule additional for the astaxanthin. But if you look at the math, if you do the math on a 30 capsule supply, you're talking about, for the standard Ultimate Eye, you're talking, I think, about $6 or $7 a 30 count bottle. And even if you're talking about the version with astaxanthin, I think it ends up being $8 or less per 30 count bottle. So it takes what has always been perhaps our most expensive product with our most expensive ingredients, lutein, zeaxanthin, mesozeaxanthin, astaxanthin, also the anthocyanins from bilberry and black elder. And the reason why you don't see these ingredients in typical products delivered appropriately, because to do it correctly is extremely expensive. But again, we reformulated this. We made it better 5 years ago, increased the potency, put it in a soft gel, because the lutein and zeaxanthin in their native forms are oils, so they go better into a soft gel rather than a beadlet that goes into a two-piece capsule. So we made the product higher potency, more effective, and less expensive. And I never thought 5 years later we'd still be able to offer it at the exact same price, especially when you hear about all of the things, all of the inflationary things that have gone on over the past 5 years, from COVID to tariffs, God knows what, that our price is still, and I'll say this not just for this product, but several products, the best the product price has ever been. And when it comes to our eye support product, my original eye support product, it dates back almost 40 years ago. And per capsule, you're getting a product that has ingredients that didn't even exist back then. And the value today is better than it's ever been. Truman just found one of his balls to play with. Truman, bring it up here. Can I have your ball? Oh, he'll only give me his ball if I give him a treat. Okay, here's a treat. Thank you.
He knows how
He's
to get
already
you.
smart.
He's got you around his little
Go
finger.
get your ball. Go get your ball.
Andrew, you had made mention last night, you showed a chart and it was going through, you know, what various foods give you. And one of the things that I forgot to point out was there's always the age-old belief that carrots are so good for you. Carrots help you see in the dark. One of the charts you showed had carrots at the bottom of the list, and that was astonishing to me.
What's interesting, vitamin A, and when we think about beta carotene or alpha carotene, those are the carotenoids that will be converted into vitamin A in the body. It's preformed vitamin A is something that an adult does not want to supplement, and it always troubles me when I see products that have preformed vitamin A in them. If you're going to be taking vitamin A, it should be either as natural beta carotene or natural alpha carotene. But vitamin A, yes, it has a role in the development of vision, but it doesn't come close to the role that lutein and zeaxanthin play in maintaining your vision, in protecting your eyesight, protecting your visual systems. It is the lutein and zeaxanthin are the absolute optical pigments in the eye. So again, it's sort of one of those old wives' tales, how critical vitamin A is to our vision. Yes, as children, vitamin A is critical to the development of the eye, development of the visual systems, development of our immune system. But as we sit here as adults, the most important carotenoids we could focus on are lutein and zeaxanthin, which are not rich in carrots. Lutein and zeaxanthin are rich in green leafy vegetables like spinach, kale, mustard greens, collard greens, even things like peas, even broccoli or asparagus. If it's green, it has lutein and zeaxanthin. Typically, even if it's yellow, it will have lutein and zeaxanthin. That's why pea soup has always been one of my favorite soups, because peas are rich in lutein. Zeaxanthin's a little bit more difficult. If you recall from that chart, even we have it right here. This shows you the comprehensive nature of the formula. 12,000 micrograms of lutein, 6,000 micrograms of zeaxanthin. And so I now have a dog that wants to be playing with his ball. and also the astaxanthin. And again, the astaxanthin for only $40 more you're getting the 4,000 micrograms per day of astaxanthin. And then, of course, we have our bilberry, citrus bioflavonoids, our green tea extract standardized for EGCG, our black elder extract, our grape seed extract standardized for polyphenols, and oligomeric proanthocyanidins. And then the next ingredients, those are the original eye support from almost 40 years ago: vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin E, zinc, and copper. Now, they all take a distant back seat to the lutein, zeaxanthin, astaxanthin, bilberry, citrus bioflavonoids. And by the way, the vitamin A, C, E, zinc, and copper, that represents probably less than 5% of the cost of the formula, probably about 3 or 4%. That's why other companies deliver those in abundance. The real cost of the formula, the real benefit from the formula, arise from the lutein, zeaxanthin, astaxanthin, and the anthocyanins contained in the berries.
Well, and Andrew, they are letting me know that obviously as we come to the end of this presentation, this is the end of the day nearly, and this is last call, last chance to be able to get Ultimate Eye Support. It's a big Today special for us. It's one of our really most popular Today specials that Andrew brings us every single year. They're all important, but there's so many of us that stock up every single year and never want to be without it. Price-wise, there is one leader that's really, you know, I suppose, setting the standard as it is tonight, and that is the 720 count on the version with astaxanthin. It's only a little bit extra, so for those extra few pennies a day, you're getting an unbelievably potent and comprehensive formula. You are doing so much for your body, for your eyes. And Andrew, you gave an incredible statistic last night. You said, and I don't want to misquote, you said just taking one of these per week, I believe, is more than, well, I'll let you finish the sentence.
Well, taking one per week, for the typical American diet, just taking one capsule of Ultimate Eye per week will double the typical levels of carotenoids that we receive in our diet.
Wow.
We receive a little more than of lutein, zeaxanthin, astaxanthin. We receive a little bit more than a milligram of those ingredients in the typical American diet per day. So over the course of a week, probably 7 to 10 milligrams. By taking that one capsule, you basically double the quantity that you would have had. So again, we see Truman in the background there. But Truman, did you hear him? Shumi, come on, come here, buddy, come up. So, and anyway, sorry, we should be talking about the product. Can you give me a high five? Good boy. Good boy. Yeah, you're such a good puppy. Yep.
Oh my gosh,
so
we love
he's
it.
a great guy. So it was, yeah, a year ago that unfortunately I lost Lincoln, and there's only one way to fill the heart that's left empty by the loss of our favorite furry friends, and that's by finding a new favorite furry friend. It doesn't diminish in any way the memory or the importance of the significance of the prior. All it does is remind you of how special that part of our heart is, and that we should always try to keep that part of our heart open, which is what Truman's job is now doing in the background. He's laying on his bed there. But again, when we talk about lutein, zeaxanthin, the optical pigments, it's really important to note these are not ingredients. The folks who sell these products and make it sound like they're a treatment for age-related macular degeneration or a treatment for cataracts or other kinds of visual problems, visual diseases or symptoms of those diseases. It's a disservice to the product because lutein and zeaxanthin, it's, as I said earlier today, calcium is a critical part of our bone. Lutein and zeaxanthin, it is the very definition of the optical pigments in the retina of our eye. So to diminish them by somehow making them seem like drug components rather than looking at them as the actual structural and functional components of our eyes that enhance the sharpness of our vision, the clarity of our vision, the contrast of our vision. The world around us is beautiful, and lutein and zeaxanthin allow us to see it in its fullest and truest beauty, and allows us to do so most effectively as we age. So it really is an opportunity. Unfortunately, Mother Nature isn't perfect. So the really wonderful sources of lutein and zeaxanthin, they don't taste good. We don't eat them. So she's almost perfect. She makes sure there is an abundant source of lutein and zeaxanthin in the world around us. We just don't want to eat them. So I guess it's back up to that whole thing about human free will. That's where the problems start. We don't necessarily exercise our free will in the most intelligent of fashions. And when it comes to protecting our eyes, it's as simple as a couple of seconds a day. Even if you just took one capsule every other day, you're multiplying the levels of lutein and zeaxanthin in your diet by just taking a capsule every other day. And that's pennies a day.
I think there's a couple things that come to light. And, you know, one, as Andrew was playing with Truman just then, and we were talking about, you know, life and how precious it is, we obviously want to, you know, preserve and look after, you know, those that we love, ourselves, for our family. And we know our eyes are so important, right? Every part of our body is important, but we know our eyes, as Andrew said, allow us to see all the beauty in the world. This is a product that's designed to help protect and support our eyes in every possible sense. I also think it's really important that as we stand here on this Sunday in May of 2025, we think back to maybe all the years that you've watched HSN and all the wonderful celebrities that you've seen and all the incredible products that you've, you know, not only been seen showcased, but you've been part of and that you've loved, all the amazing brands that you've, you know, maybe purchased in the past. You do realize, and sometimes I have to pinch myself, and I'm sure Andrew does, we are stood here today with a product that has been on the airwaves for decades. Very few products on HSN or our sister channel QVC can say the same. And to be able to make that statement is the ultimate testimonial. Why is it still here? Why are we still selling thousands and thousands and thousands every year? Because it works. And for those of us that have it, try it, test it, use it, love it, we want to continue our journey with it because it makes a difference when we go to the eye doctor. It makes a difference when we get out of bed on a morning. It makes a difference when we open our eyes and feel that they're a little sharper. We feel that they're adjusting faster. We feel that we see better. And that's what so many of you say in these reviews. So for all of this that Andrew and I are sharing tonight, and Truman, we want to make sure that you understand the history. Because to understand the history is to understand how important this product is. If you buy it today, you're getting the best pricing in history. So never have we been here with a more compelling argument. We've got all these amazing benefits all bundled up in the most potent formula Andrew's ever created, and the price tag attached is the lowest price ever, the biggest value for money. One thing to say a low price, it's even better to say the biggest value for money, and it really is. 720 capsules would cost $459. We are today at $199. That's under $200. That's the most popular choice. We still have other today's specials to get to. Andrew, we have T-minus 10 minutes left. But I just think it's important to really highlight how big a deal this product is.
No, I wish I had hours to talk about this. It's that important. And again, I say this over and over and over with all my products. As much, we are the manufacturer. 90+% of the products on the market, a contract manufacturer makes it for the person who's talking about it or the company that's selling it. They're just marketing companies. So we are truly invested in making the best product in the world. But what's most important to me is that you understand the role that lutein and zeaxanthin play in your visual system, that they are the optical pigments that are very defining of it's called the macular lutea, the most important part of your retina, the macular region. It's the macular lutea, which in Latin means yellow spot. It's a yellow spot because of lutein and zeaxanthin. So these are defining the functioning of the eye, the optimal functioning of your eye. If you're not getting them in your diet, which most of us are not, it's consequential. That's an issue. That's a problem. What also has happened, originally when I first included lutein and zeaxanthin in my product, decades before anyone else, we're probably talking over 30 years ago, originally when we did that, every time I would do a show, I'd see the research on lutein and zeaxanthin. And probably 95, 98% of that research was on lutein and zeaxanthin and its impact on the eye. Now, I'd say a good third of the research, sometimes up to a half of the research, is on the impact of lutein and zeaxanthin on the brain. So if in the past you've been getting my product and loving the benefits you're getting for your vision and for your eyes, why it gets so many great reviews, it doesn't matter. You're still getting the benefits for your brain. You get all of the benefits. It's not like there's side effects you need to worry about. When you get this for the one benefit that Mother Nature provides, that our blueprint provides, you're getting all of those other benefits. So you don't have to get my product. You just need to get a product that's rich in lutein, rich in zeaxanthin, and mesozeaxanthin. Also provides the anthocyanins to protect all of the vascular systems of your eye, the night vision. So again, it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to make a difference in a quality of ours, a sense of ours that's defining of our quality of life. And as I said before, part of the reason why lutein and zeaxanthin are observed, their concentrations in the eye, their concentrations in the brain, is directly related to our retaining optimum cognitive function, memory, concentration, mental acuity as we age. It's kind of not surprising. We even know that if you say have hearing impairment and you don't do anything about it, say you don't get a hearing aid, that eventually can result in cognitive impairment. That we want to protect all of the sensory inputs to our brain because that protects our brain. So when we're making sure we give our eyes something they critically need to maintain the sharpness of vision, visual acuity, contrast, all the things that are the attributes of healthy vision, we are also protecting a healthy brain. So you don't have to get mine. I know that probably 95% of the folks who might be watching, they'll maybe get something out in a supermarket, discount store, look for natural lutein, natural zeaxanthin, also mesozeaxanthin. And if you're doing that, at least you're going to be doing something wonderful to your body. You won't be a product that's the equal of mine, but the most important thing is that you're giving your eyes, your brain, the visual systems in your eyes, the lutein and zeaxanthin that are defining of their optical system, that are part of how they function. Again, we can't think of our bones functioning without calcium, and Truman just wants me to keep playing with him and his ball. And we can't think of healthy vision without thinking about the role that lutein, zeaxanthin, mesozeaxanthin, and astaxanthin play in protecting and maintaining and just being an actual functional component of that healthy vision. Even, by the way, even in young people, visual processing speed improves with optimum levels of lutein and zeaxanthin. So it's not just when we get older, but even in young people.
I just love that Andrew is able to make things easy. And I know so many of you feel the same way, that when I see a product with Andrew's face on it, when I see a product with Andrew's branding on it, ProCaps, you just know it's the best in the world. You know, you cannot buy better. You know, everything is there for a reason, backed by science and research, not hype and pizzazz. It's the real deal, folks. And what's joyful about this is that you're able to get it home and try it. You have our 30-day return policy. Many of the folks' reviews that you'll read talk about seeing that difference, certainly, feeling that difference. So this isn't something that you have to wait around to experience the benefits of. The story is always compelling because we all appreciate it. There's no argument there. We know we have to look after our eyes. But I think in 2025, it's just more apparent than ever. I'm sure many of you at home, whether it's you, a loved one, a significant other, the children, the grandkids, we are on our devices so much, on our phones so much. I mean, hours and hours and hours a day. And Andrew, you know, 20 years ago, that was not the case. So the argument for supporting our eyes has only gotten stronger as technology has evolved.
No, it went without saying 20, 30 years ago. Now, with all the different screens we're looking at, we all are looking at them, staring at them hours a day. The blue light, the light that comes from those screens is potentially damaging to the tissues of our eye. And again, just that close focal distance where we spend an inordinate amount of time looking at something too close, and then we struggle even to focus on something distant. It's our eyes are begging for natural support, the natural support that lutein and zeaxanthin. And initially, when I first spoke about these ingredients, we really just looked at them as sort of that kind of short-term protection for long-term benefits from high-energy radiation. We now know that short-term benefit more clear vision, better glare protection. So when they're driving at the end of the day, just for safety reasons, when you're driving at the end of the day or early in the morning when the sun is low in the sky, when you go in from, say, it's bright outside and you go inside and it's dark, or vice versa, it could be a little difficult if you're going down a flight of stairs to really be able to see exactly what you're stepping into when you go from a dark space into a light space, or vice versa. So it's all about healthy vision. It's all about seeing the world around us better, and it's all about having safer vision. Night driving, for a lot of us, that becomes difficult as we get older, or impossible. We have dozens and dozens of reviews that speak exactly to that point. So again, you don't have to get mine. The magic words are lutein, zeaxanthin, mesozeaxanthin. I don't make the magic words. That design long preceded me. They're magic words because they are the optical pigments that are defining of the protective and functional aspects of our retina, of our vision. So if you cherish healthy vision, you need to shift your diet around so you're getting access to those ingredients, green leafy vegetables, purple fruits like bilberries, blueberries, things like that. Even red cabbage gives you anthocyanins. Those nutrients are not readily available from the typical American diet. And as I said, this is such a high potency product that even if you just take 1 or 2 capsules a week, you're multiplying the levels of lutein and zeaxanthin in your diet. So this will fit into any budget, meaning that it could just be pennies a week, not just pennies a day. And Truman is desperate for me to throw the ball for him. As you can see, he's...
Well, that's perfect. You won't let it go now.
I'll leave it to you.
Going to take your hand with him. Guys, I do want to say as well, we are coming to the end of it. So this is it for another year. So it's important that we offer the best value. We're obviously proud of these big days that we have, but it's going to be this time in 2026 when you see this again at this price.
And by the way, what I should tell everyone, and that even until, Lincoln lived over 16 years, and even till the end, he still had his hearing was not great, but his vision was still very good. But I always made a point of making sure we put some green veggie, a little bit of green veggie paste in his food. And what I'm doing for Truman is I take a capsule of Ultimate Eye, and twice a week, I squeeze about half that capsule into his food. It's kind of funny colored, but it has no taste. And it's just giving him the lutein, the zeaxanthin, the anthocyanins, those protective compounds. So again, I don't make a pet eye product yet. We will in the future, but that's a way that you can share the benefits with your furry friends of the incredibly important components for their visual systems, just as they're incredibly important for our own.
As we wrap up today's special reminder of pricing, you can choose the original Ultimate Eye Support, which is 40 through 720 capsules. That's a special size. That's not normally offered. Discounted today, you can see from $299.90 to $159.90. Lowest pricing ever on the product. Free shipping and flex pay. The #1 seller, though, is the option with astaxanthin that is only a little bit extra, but gives you, of course, the benefits of astaxanthin, and that's saving you $259.90. Andrew, any final words on this one?
Just the thing that I really haven't emphasized, we have so many scientific charts here. I'm going to do a video posted on social media for a lot of the products and going through the scientific charts that I never have time to effectively do so, and just sharing that information. But as critical, as important, as vital and essential as lutein and zeaxanthin are for the visual system, it is now absolutely crystal clear that they're equally critical for our brain. And that those of us, and I have a chart that shows that, but for those, I won't put it up quickly, it'll take too long. But for those of us who have adequate levels of lutein and zeaxanthin throughout our lifetime, we have an opportunity for better cognitive functioning as we age. If you look at the levels of lutein and zeaxanthin in elderly folks with cognitive impairment, it's lower than the levels of lutein and zeaxanthin with healthy cognitive function in elderly folks. So I know where I want to be as I age, and that's why I make sure I get adequate levels of lutein and zeaxanthin every day in terms of my vision and in terms of my brain, memory, cognitive function.
Well, that's the